Angelo Acerbi, Fred Film Radio from the London Film Festival. I'm really glad to have here the directors of Ordinary Love, Lisa Barros and Glenn Leyburn. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
Your film is a nice drama, if I can say so. About, I mean, nice because it's treated in a way that it's never too sentimental, never too manipulative in terms of making you cry forcefully. And it's a story about a couple, middle age, that has to face the issue of cancer. This is it. Um, why did you choose this story? And after this, why did you choose this kind of tone in telling the story?
Sure. The uh, the we wanted to tell this story because yes, it's a story about a couple going through cancer, but primarily for us, it's just a really beautiful and fresh love story. It's a story that looks at the journey, the love story of a couple in middle age, the kind of story we don't tend to see too often on screen. A couple who are not at the start or the end of their love story, but it's about what happens at the heart of that love story when there's a challenge that comes along in the form of this cancer diagnosis. And even though this couple have been through everything together, even some very dark times, also 1,000 beautiful ordinary days, this is something that even though they try to tackle it together, of course, it's the person whose body this story is happening in who has to go through their own journey. So it's a story about this couple, and something that threatens to separate them. And I think that is what we loved about it, is that it approaches that relationship with really unsentimental look at how people are with each other through times like that. When you've been with someone for this long, you don't. These are not always the people that we are the kindest to, the people that are closest to us. That there are moments of tough moments that this couple go through together, but they're also a couple who have this really beautiful, vibrant relationship. There's real electricity between them.
Which was my next question, because to me you managed to show us this couple, which is like they're very intimate, they are very close with each other. The fact they end each other's phrases, which is really nice and gives you the exact length of the intensity of their love story. This is it. And one very interesting thing is then once they discover the cancer, and when the husband has to become the pillar of this situation, he it does it, but they do it together. I mean, it's always her too
Yes.
that is involved in this holding up.
Yes, in a way, it's they go on a journey together, but then they're also apart. So I think that's quite interesting structurally. I mean, I think also to answer your question about just treating, how we approach the film, I think one of the things that did appeal to us is the lack of sentimentality in the story, in the script. I think there was an authenticity to the writing that we really identified with, and it was about finding. The everyday poetry, I think was important for us. And I think that also meant sort of stripping a lot away and just quietly observing. And I think that for a subject matter like this, and with two such great actors on screen, I think you can do that. And they can easily hold the audience's attention without too much trickery or,
right.
kind of flourishes,
And it's something not very much seen, because normally its films on these issues are very much heavier, much dramatic, and this one is not.
Yes, I think that thing. I think the thing that we were conscious about was not to sensationalize the subject matter, because that didn't feel appropriate to us, and to earn the emotion, not ask for it.
Yeah.
And
I was just going to say that there are so many people who are going through this kind of story every day. So many of us will either be diagnosed with cancer at some point or know people who are, and there are a lot of people walking around who are going through life with cancer. That are dealing with treatment every day, and who have absorbed it into the normality of their days and still live very rich lives, and bringing the kind of humor and warmth and connection that we all try to find to get the joy out of our days. So we wanted to honor those experiences and
the everyday courage of that as well.
Of those people. And we were fortunate enough to have the support of a lot of real medical professionals in making the film, I think, who were interested in what we wanted to show about that experience and what the myriad lives that people can have even when they're going through an illness.
I dare to say that your film could be also kind of educational film for people who are in that situation, to see an alternative way of facing fear instead of being crushed by it, in order to use it as a growing up tool.
Yes, well, ultimately, we would like to think that people would see the film as something that was life-affirming or, a positive thing. I think one of the things that also attracted us to the story was that there was humour and warmth within it. That's kind of the lifeblood of it, really.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how did you work with the actors in order to have them create this unique and completely believable chemistry between this man and this woman?
Well, yes, I mean, this was just about having the good fortune to be able to choose these two great actors. I mean, these are two of the greatest actors working today, so it was a great privilege to be able to work with them and to bring them together on screen for the first time. Leslie and Liam had never met before this film, and we just had a sense of them as actors, that they both bring this honesty and naturalism. We always believe in what we see them do on screen, and we just had a feeling that there was a sort of tone in their performances that would gel. And of course, you never know completely until you see them together in the room, but immediately when we did and we saw them working together, reading through the scenes, we thought, this is there's something special here. We thought it would have the makings of one of those classic cinematic pairings, and there's that chemistry there, I think, that feels very exciting.
And which kind of directors are you? You are very bossy ones, or you are the one that accept collaboration from the actor, or you want to be the one in charge?
I think when you're I think when you're working with really great talents, you want to get the most from that, and you just want to create a space where people can be free to discover and find their way, and that you do that as a collaboration. You're not going to work with such great talents and try to shut them down. That would be crazy. That would be foolish in the extreme. But there was a lovely atmosphere on set. We love having a set where people feel that they can be collaborative. Of course, we have to have the overall vision for the piece, but filmmaking is by its nature a collaborative enterprise. And one always wants the characters, the actors, to feel that there are places they can go to discover in their characters. There was a real sense of coming together as a team to go on the journey every day on set.
And how are you working together as a
four
hands direction?
That's a good question.
I know. I was keeping for the last because
well, I think on set it appears that our jobs are more separate. I think I work much more closely with the director of photography, production design, maybe the more technical aspects of things, and Lisa definitely works much more closely with the actors. We're quite careful that the actors, there's one voice for the actors really, so there's no confusion. But in actual fact, Lisa has a huge input into the visual style of the film, as I do into the performance, and we discuss everything. We prepare a lot before we're ever on set, but then obviously things happen on set and you have to adjust and recalibrate it. But we always find that having two heads at that moment is better than one, and we can kind of incubate ideas quite quickly.
But it's really right when you said the two heads are better than one, but one voice is much better than two voices.
Oh yes,
for the actors
absolutely,
at least.
Yeah. So on set it does appear that we're quite separate. In that respect, we go separate directions when we say cut. We sort of walk to different parts of the room, but actually each have influence.
Yes, and we have established we've worked out what that voice is before we go into the film. We know what we're trying to do with what the voice of the film is, and so we can be free to elaborate around that when we get to set.
Yeah, and we enjoy that collaboration as well. That's the collaboration starts here and then extends to the actors and every crew member, really.
And then actually the movie doesn't suffer of any kind of problem having two directors instead of one. It's very fluid and fluent. So We're happy. You're happy. We're happy. Everybody's happy.
Yeah,
That's good.
I think maybe when we started doing this quite some years ago now, maybe our initial producer was sort of thinking, how is this going to work? Is this going to be endless discussions? And actually,
producers could be very kind of frightened about that.
Yeah, but in actual fact, it's sort of the opposite. I think we're able to move really quickly. Do you know, we've had to. And I think having two people on set, it's been fairly streamlined.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks a lot to Lisa Barros and Glenn Leyburn, the directors of Ordinary Love here at the London Film Festival. I'm Angelo Acerbi for Fred, the Festival Insider.